my colleague from the NFL Media Group, joining me here, kind enough, on the 10-year anniversary of him being hit by a football on live television.
Why?
I don't know. It's happened to the best of us, and that includes one of the best to do it in the history of NFL Network. My colleague from the NFL Media Group, he is Ian Rapoport at Rap Sheet on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Ian? Happy anniversary.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It has been, it's been a great celebration. I thought my wife buying me a cake was something I honestly didn't expect, but it was appreciated. Having it for breakfast was a little weird. But
did she really buy you a cake? Did she buy you a cake kind of to celebrate? Ian?
No, we're not crazy people, but that'd be pretty funny if she did.
It's happened to the best, man. It has happened to the best. God bless it. I think I was there.
Was it's funny, Rich. That was actually one of my great moments because I got a lot of credit for keeping going while I was on TV after being hit with a football. Many people, including like people on the Today Show and Good Morning America, and it was on all the late night talk shows, and everybody was talking about my professionalism, which was awesome because I had no earthly idea what I was doing on TV. I had just memorized what I was trying to say and just didn't want to forget my line.
You know what? I remember when you first started out, Ian, and look at you now. You're all grown up. You're grown up. You got multiple millions and your Twitter following, and it's awesome. And your information's impeccable. And thank you for calling in today. Listen.
Thank you.
Why is Bill Belichick not taking every opportunity to just say Mac's the guy? Why? You're fluent in Belichick, so help me out with this one. What do you think? Is there anything there?
So this is a two-part thing.
Yes.
One is the body of work that Bailey Zappe has put on the field is not over yet. So one thing about Bill Belichick is he does not judge anything until he's got the full body of work, right? So he doesn't do hypotheticals. He doesn't do, well, maybe if this happens and this, no. He's going to see everything he needs to see from Bailey Zappe, which I would imagine includes this week. And he's going to make a decision based on that. The other thing is, why would he? I personally think Mac Jones is the future starting quarterback of the New England Patriots, and I think he is the starting quarterback for a very long time. But the guy playing for him has played well. And I don't think you have to worry about hurting Mac Jones' feelings. He's very brash. He's very confident. He probably knows he's the starter. So there's no actual reason to say it because you might mess with Bailey Zappe before this start. And also, why would you? There's no gain except to get people to stop asking about it, which he has never cared about ever. I think the other thing is, one great thing about Belichick is he does what a lot of coaches say they do, which is judge people not based on where they are drafted. So he always has an open mind. So, what if Bailey Zappe comes in and is Tom Brady? That's always in his head.
So there is a chance. I mean, it's more than a Dumb and Dumber chance that Bailey Zappe performs well against Cleveland, and then there's a Monday night game against the Bears, who we know are points challenged, and there's a shot that the Jets-Patriots game is the battle of the Z's, Zappe versus Zach, even if Mac is ready to go? Is that you're saying?
I don't personally think so.
Okay.
But it's Bill Belichick. So, I would say, yeah, there is a chance. It's one of the reasons why I think he has won so many games is his mind is open. I'll give you just a quick example.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to him before a training camp, I don't know, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something. It was a long time ago. And I was asking him about where a certain veteran fit in. And he was like, look, I'm happy to talk. He's like, but I cannot answer that because I don't know about how he's going to come in, what he's going to look like, what kind of shape he's in, has he lost a step, how fast is he. I'm not going to judge anything until I see exactly what he is when he shows up, which was always instructive to me because he literally opens his mind to different evaluations at all times for every player.
Ian Rapoport here on the Rich Eisen Show. And to me, Dak's going to get his gig back in Dallas. The question is when. So let me leap out this conversation and start with your knowledge of Dak's thumb. He's in regeneration mode, which is an interesting way for Mike McCarthy to term it today. What is the status of Dak's readiness to return?
First of all, I'm also in regeneration mode. I did the Peloton yesterday. It was a tough one. Taking today off, regenerating. I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, I mean, Ian, it is, again, 10 years ago. You've been regenerating for 10 years since you were hit with that football. So you've been in that mode for a decade, and I'm impressed by it, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I plan tomorrow to do some regenerating myself.
Okay.
Again. Anyway, so Dak. So he threw yesterday, and it sounds like he did a little more than they anticipated, which is great because he was able to do that.
Okay.
He is sore today, so he's not going to do anything. He will probably he might throw a little bit Saturday. My guess is they'll probably pull back, but we'll see. And then the next time you're going to see him, it's going to be on the field pregame on Sunday. And assuming that goes well, then my guess is he will practice Wednesday next week and be preparing to play. That is my sense as far as where it goes and all of that. So that is, that basically puts him right on track. It'll be fewer than 6 weeks or more than 5 weeks. And he'll be healthy, he'll be cleared, he'll be ready to go. That is my sense of where this is going with the Cowboys.
And then it's decision time, or there is no decision based on what you're saying. The minute that Dak is like, I'm ready, McCarthy's like, you're starting. That's it. Cut and dried. That's it.
Yeah, I do not believe there's a decision. I don't think anything's, look, Cooper Rush has been awesome.
Yes.
The Cowboys have run the ball extremely well. Their defense is really, really, really good. Really good. And their offense is extremely limited with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush has done an incredible job, and if you could give an MVP to a backup quarterback, he would definitely get it. But he is a placeholder for the franchise quarterback who will come in as soon as he is physically possible.
Ian Rapoport here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's your 2 cents on who decided to bring Carson Wentz to Washington? Ian? Yeah,
I knew it was Ron Rivera. I mean, I'm sure the owner was involved. He's always involved, but
except he was not allowed to be. Except he was not allowed to be. He wasn't supposed to have anything to do with it. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Ian, he was supposed to be sat down. The league was supposed to have sat him down. So that's the big issue here. But I didn't mean to just jump in there. But go ahead. Continue on with the action.
Fine. I mean, there's there's a lot of issues. I mean, I remember when I saw the picture of him and Jerry Jones on the field, and I reached out to one of his spokesmen. I'm like, is Dan Snyder allowed back at the stadium? And the response was, he's always been allowed back. And I was like, what? And it turns out he had been at every game. He just hadn't posed for any pictures. But the whole thing is very strange. I have no idea. It's very strange. So my sense on the Carson thing is Ron Rivera and the football people in the building, Marty Herney, Martin Mayhew, they wanted Carson Wentz. They believed in Carson Wentz. I shouldn't say it in the past tense because I think they still believe. But they wanted to trade for him. They expected big things, and they were all in on it. So, I mean, whatever Dan Snyder did or didn't do at the last minute to, get the trade done, the football people wanted Carson.
So I guess what was that outburst last night about, in your estimation, then, after the game with Ron Rivera?
I assume he's very annoyed at having to listen to Dan Snyder stories and answer Dan Snyder stories for the 800th time. I mean, you think about, Ron Rivera is in charge of football. He's got final say, right?
Yes.
So every time there is a football question, but also a non-football question, a name change question, a stadium question, a Dan Snyder question, a lawsuit question, a investigation question, who answers them? It's always Ron Rivera. So, which is fine. It's what he signed up for. It's what he's getting paid for. But I assume it's a little bit annoying, and I think that's what you got last night, which is can I just be the football guy for a second and enjoy this stupid win that we got on Amazon,
Ian Rapoport here on the Rich Eisen Show. You know how it works in our business. If a head coach gets fired early on and there is somebody like, say, Sean Payton's resume sitting around on a television studio set somewhere, then speculation begins and runs rampant, and seats get hotter faster. in the NFL to make sure another team doesn't jump out in front. There's multiple layers to this subject matter. So let's hit the first one first. With Matt Rule out, do any other coaching situations, even at this early stage of entering week 6, bear monitoring in your estimation? Ian Rapoport.
I do not have another one that I am monitoring. I mean, I'm monitoring it all, but I do not have another one that would be considered potentially imminent. And I think in general, last year there was 10. That's a lot. I think the one that's probably gotten the most scrutiny is Nathaniel Hackett. He's a first-year coach. If they do anything, it's not going to be mid-season. I don't sense that any is coming next. I mean, and if there is a rush for Sean Payton, which I'm sure there'll be interest, but I don't know where that comes from except from the Panthers, which a lot of people think that may not exactly be likely.
Well, I mean, the reason why is because the Saints have contractual control on Peyton's future, correct? For till when? Can you walk me through that process? Best you know.
So till 2024, which is next year, and so I know. Yes, they're in the same division, and I think the Saints would like to not trade Sean Payton to the Carolina Panthers. But I think they also would like a good price. So if the Panthers had the highest price, then maybe it would happen, but they would have to pay a premium. It would be like trading someone in your division. Like, yes, you can do it, but it's going to be absolutely insanely expensive. Plus, I do think it benefits the Saints to have the Panthers involved because it drives up the price for if anyone else gets it.
And what about the notion that the first blush notion that hit the Twitterverse after Rule's firing is that there will be a fire sale and that people are going to be calling up Carolina and saying, what about McCaffrey? What about DJ Moore? And just keep on trying to pick that roster clean if this team is thinking about maybe even burning it completely down to the ground. Is there any there on that?
Yeah, I don't see a fire sale. If for no other reason, then they're going to have to hire a coach. So, if you're a head coach and you look at the roster and you have Derek Brown and DJ Moore and Brian Burns and Christian McCaffrey, you're going to say, all right, cool, we need a quarterback, but a line that is really pretty good, honestly. Mm-hmm. It's. I'm not saying nothing's happening, but I don't think it's going to be a fire sale because I think they would like to give the new coach some players.
Ian Rapoport, NFL Media Group, NFL Insider. A couple minutes left with him here on the cusp of Week 6. Any sense of what the league's thinking about with Davante Adams shoving over that member of the media on the way out the door on Monday night? Ian?
Not yet. Usually, Rich, these things come extremely quickly. It has not come extremely quickly. Now, they don't play this week, so the extra time to deliberate has been interesting, but no word yet on kind of which way the league intends to go.
And the fact that he's been charged despite the fact that, and I know you have the details on the charge and what it could mean maximally, and if you wouldn't mind peppering your answer to my question with that information as well. Ian?
I'm sorry, say that again.
His charge, what it means in terms of locally and what it holds in terms of maximum penalties. And my question is the fact that this was in fact administered by the local authorities, despite what people may think about ambulance chasing and things of that nature. Does that factor in your estimation of what the league's going to do?
It makes it a little more complicated. And it was interesting too because it was painted like it was a misdemeanor. It actually isn't. It's a city ordinance violation, which I don't know, but, maybe that's what they use when people get into a fight at a bar fight. I'm not really sure. I've never heard of a city ordinance violation before. Plus, I've never received one, for being completely honest, and I don't plan to. But it just makes it a little more complicated. And, I think there is a, what happens to this guy situation now. This ESPN freelancer who apparently this was his first game.
Oh, it was.
A lot of questions, including like what was he doing in the visiting tunnel right after the game when players are walking through there and media members are not supposed to be there. Like, there's a lot of questions, and I'm fascinated to see what the answers are.
All right. And then I guess on the opposite end of the spectrum of this subject matter is the ping pong table in Miami and its meaning, right? Like, what the hell's going on in Dolphins country with their locker? I mean, honestly, the coaches holding it up as the paragon of professionalism and leadership, that they're getting rid of the ping pong table. And we find out the next day the reason why Tyreek Hill has replaced the ping pong table is clearly about its viability as a ping pong table. I mean, what is there anything here, or we're just wasting our time, Ian?
Oh, it's a great waste of time. And I think the Dolphins.
Okay.
No, it's all. I'm not even joking. It's awesome. The Dolphins have, dealt with more nonsense and real hard, crazy news than most people deal with in offseason, including people discussing whether or not their owner would sell, tampering, violations, concussion protocol, all sorts of stuff. Deshaun Watson, a ping pong table is a great thing to discuss. I hope we discussed a lot of it. I believe Tyreek Hill when he says he just wanted to upgrade with the Dolphins logo. I myself am a great ping pong player and will probably destroy any of them.
Well done. Oh, really? Are you serious?
Wow.
Is that like a fraternity thing?
That's fire.
Really?
No, I'm actually a really good ping pong player.
Really? Like Forrest Gump good or what?
No. Just like, your local your local party, there's a ping pong table, like take on all comers good.
Oh, really? How about that? I did not know that
Very
about you.
Very confident in my ping pong game.
Okay. Does it take away from your ability to focus on winning every single Sunday when you're on game day morning? Or you can separate the two like the Dolphins say that they can?
Yeah, no, I can. I've always been really good at compartmentalizing. Like Saturdays are very busy. We got flag football.
Okay.
Sometimes we got soccer practices.
Father of the year.
Yep. But I'm still able to, grind it out and get ready for Sunday, which I think is important, as the Dolphins move forward to kind of mimic that situation.
Yeah, taking on Minnesota this weekend, and is the Sunday nighter in Week 7, Pittsburgh at Miami, where they're thinking Tua might return? What's your sense on that? With that obviously being a very sensitive subject, Ian.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't know.
Got it.
Because it's a concussion, and it is. I gave up a long time ago predicting when people will come back because it's not only is every concussion different, but every recovery is different, and there's no way of knowing. That is the thought, the sense, the hope, but there's really no way of knowing.
Ian, thanks for the time, brother. Be well this weekend. We're back on together Sunday morning. Look forward to that. Thank you, sir. You take care.
All right. Look forward to it too, Rich. Take care, man.
You're the man. That's Ian Rapoport right here on The Rich Eisen Show.